So this is my third week in a row of making a video on Monday, so that's good. It means I'm following through with my New Year's resolutions, and this isn't the only one that I'm following through with, actually. I'm still reading every week. I'm reading an hour every Monday. Usually I read a book for pleasure, but if the week looks like it's going to be sort of homework intensive and I notice that I need to have a lot of reading done, the reading for class will sometimes take over for reading for pleasure. And I also have yet to play video games on Monday, which is good. It means I'm following through on 3 out of 4 of my resolutions. I had planned to be working out a little bit more, but 3 out of 4 is actually a really, really good percentage rate, I think, when it comes to your New Year's resolution, because a lot of people don't do any. Anyway, so today I'm going to tell you 5 interesting things about the state of Virginia that you may or may not have already known. So here we go. The first thing, as some of you will already have noticed, is that Virginia is not actually a state. It is in fact a commonwealth. And according to Mendelfloss, the difference between that is nothing. Really. There's really absolutely no difference between a state and a commonwealth. Commonwealths originally referred to themselves as such because they suggest that they are not ruled by a king or a tyrant, but they are instead ruled by the common people, the general population. Thing number 2, 1861, Virginia secedes from the Union. Well, yeah, I know you already know that. I mean, you may not have known the year, but yeah, you knew that Richmond was the capital of the South and Virginia seceded from the Union. Obviously, you know that part. The point is not that Virginia seceded from the Union. I have a point beyond that. You really shouldn't interrupt people. It's rude, and now I've wasted time talking to you about this. Anyway, my point was that in 1861, when Virginia seceded from the Union, there were a couple of northwestern counties that didn't really want to go along with that. So, after Virginia secedes from the Union, these northwestern counties secede from Virginia. Unfortunately, that's how we got the state of West Virginia. The state seal, which is conveniently located on the state flag, reads Sic Semper Tyrannis, which, of course, loosely translates to thus always happens to tyrants. Now, obviously, this was shouted by John Wilkes Booth after his assassination of Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater. Now, this next one is probably a little bit more widely known, shall we say. Virginia is named after Queen Elizabeth I. If you don't know the story, you're probably thinking to yourself, where do you get Virginia from Elizabeth? Well, obviously, they're not the same. But Queen Elizabeth was known as the Virgin Queen because she never took a husband, despite many, many suitors coming and trying to win her favor. Now, the issue with the nickname the Virgin Queen is that she was, in all likelihood, not actually a virgin. She had a number of, let's say, very close male friends. And after this friendship, we can probably safely assume that she was not actually the Virgin Queen. Lastly, and actually most interestingly to me, is that Virginia is known as the mother of the presidents, and that's because more presidents have been born in the state of Virginia than in any other state in the United States. In fact, 8 presidents have been born here. George Washington, James Monroe, Woodrow Wilson, Thomas Jefferson, John Tyler, Zachary Taylor, James Madison, and William Henry Harrison. It is also home to the most dead presidents, actually. In fact, 7 presidents are buried here. That's it. That's all 5 interesting things that I have deemed necessary and worthy and interesting enough to bring to you about the state of Virginia. However, I can see that you think that there's more. Well, you know what? There is more. And you know how I know you know that there's more? Because the bar down there isn't quite done, is it? It's probably about here, maybe here? Here? I think it's somewhere in here. Anyway, so I am pleased to introduce my interesting fact for the week. What we're going to do is every week, at the end of every episode, I'm going to give you something that I find interesting on any given topic. So for your interesting fact of the day, I am actually going to throw back to something that I talked about earlier. 2 presidents that were not born in the state of Virginia but are now buried here Which were they? Right, John F. Kennedy and William Howard Taft. I'm going to talk about Taft. Taft, interestingly enough, is the only man in the United States, nay, the world, who has held both the position of Chief Justice, in fact, and President of the United States. Okay, as you can see from the bar, we're getting pretty close to the end. So, that means that this video is almost over, and it's time for me to say goodbye. So, I hope that your Monday has been improved, I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, please don't forget to leave a comment. Who is your favorite president? Let me know in the comments below. There's a subscribe button up there. I would really like it. If you clicked it, it would be nice. It would probably supplement my income someday. Maybe. Probably not. But it would be really nice to dream. So, I hope that your Monday sucks less now, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Goodbye.